So Joe, we just finished watching the second big press conference of E3. It was EA's press conference.
Right, following the Microsoft one this morning.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what did they open with?
They opened, well, okay, so you thought it was going to be this big, like, war, this military thing.
Yeah.
It sort of had that sort of staticky military vibe to it. And then it's Plants vs. Zombies third-person shooter, I guess?
Yeah, with all of like the plant dudes that you like and the different zombie types and stuff, but it just looks...
It was kind of revealed a little bit beforehand. Like, some of the surprise was ruined because there were, here around the convention center, there are signs for garden warfare.
Oh, did you catch those?
Yeah.
I didn't see those at all, so I was totally
there's
surprised.
one right over there.
Oh.
Yep. So.
Oh, there you go. Sure. Well, I mean, that's just a title, right? That's just a name. It is a clever play on Modern Warfare, which is interesting because that's an Activision game. What did we see in there? We saw like this little zombie dude jump on top of like a big like Gargantor or whatever.
Yeah, a little like Master Blaster vibe from Thunderdome.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then they turned into like a garlic bulb drone thing and started shooting guys. It's just basically, it looks like a capable third-person shooter, but like it just, that universe and those characters and like all those colors and stuff just...
Yeah, not to downplay it just by calling it capable. I mean, like there's a certain amount of like quirk and charm about the Plants vs. Zombies, just like that franchise in general that makes it, that makes it exciting for people, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was cool because it seemed like they were going to lead with like Battlefield 4 or something, which everyone would expect, and it's just this, everyone likes Plants vs. Zombies, so push that. Showed a Need for Speed game, a new like Need for Speed Rivals, which I'm not super familiar with that franchise, but it just looks like next gen Need for Speed, which is cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, always sort of interested to see the next gen interpretation of like what the new hardware is going to let those genres, how it's going to let those genres change. Speaking of that, also there was the Dragon Age.
That's right.
Was another one of
Dragon Age 3 Inquisition.
Yep. Which they said is going to, again, like usher in the new age of next generation RPGs or something like that. So
that looked cool too.
Yeah, and I'm that one I'm really curious about because all they showed was a trailer. To a lot of people, Dragon Age 2 was a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, I'm one of those people.
And so the big questions is like, are they going to address the combat? Are they going to go back a little more to their sort of PC roots on that like they wanted to? We did see Morrigan in the trailer, which is a big deal.
And they said that other characters are going to be returning and stuff. So it's a continuation of that story for sure.
Yeah.
Looks a little like apocalyptic and end of days. But speaking of reveals that were sort of light on information, there was the Star Wars Battlefront, which people are stoked on that. Looks like it's DICE that's making another Battlefront game. It just showed like the snow speeder coming in and getting crushed by an AT-AT foot.
Yeah. I mean, it's a cool trailer. That one, you can't really expect any more. They just sort of announced that they were... that partnership was happening.
Basically, get excited about it. Is what they want you to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sports stuff in the middle, and iterations and stuff, and like they focused a lot on talking about like the dribble tech and bounce tech in basketball.
I mean, and in those cases too, like the sports games weren't really a surprise. All of those had sort of been touched on at some point. So that was more of like a dive into what some of the new features on all of them were going to be. And I mean, you're not a big sports gamer. I'm not a big sports gamer. Yeah. So all of that kind of just went.
I was surprisingly impressed with the Battlefield 4 multiplayer match. Like I've played some Battlefield 3 multiplayer, and I get it. It's big, the scale's large, but then they had 64 people on stage playing. Like that's cool, and just the whole real-time thing. Like I'm in a building and jumping out, and then just turning around and like without skipping a beat, seeing that building topple.
Yeah.
That's enough to get me interested for sure. Yeah. I want to blow up that building.
Yeah. It looks exciting. Now I will say, and this is something that EA is not going to change, and it's going to be a consistent part of E3 forever. But I am so sick of the canned dialogue between like demonstrations.
Oh my gosh!
Like, yeah, dude, I'm pumped. Yeah. Hey, he's up on the tower. He's up on the tower. It's like,
hey, Commander, you got a new load of ammo? I need something.
All of that stuff. It just sounds
They're fooling no one.
Yeah, no one's fooled. It sounds so forced. Like I don't know why companies even like still attempt to keep that going.
Right. They sort of bookended the entire press conference with, they started in with Plants vs. Zombies. It was just fun, and everyone loves it. and it's super successful. And then they ended it with something that's not as successful, but like has a cult following.
Well, yeah, I mean that's one of the things that you kind of look forward to in these bigger press conferences at E3 is they sort of do the Columbo, right?
Yeah.
They do the like there is one more thing.
Absolutely.
And Microsoft had Titanfall for that this morning, and EA did Mirror's Edge. Well, not 2, a new Mirror's Edge, whatever that is,
which is interesting. We don't know that much about it, except like visually it looks the same. You know, it was sort of like a conceptual, like fun trailer, but it showed like Faith getting tattoos and stuff, which maybe implies that I don't know. Does it take place before? Was it a flashback?
Prequel, presumably, I guess.
Yeah. But I'm excited for that. I really like Mirror's Edge 1, and it's so fun to see it because you see like, oh, Dying Light looks like it's got Mirror's Edge stuff in it, or like you always hear like comparisons of good first-person movement and like platforming and stuff. Everything's compared to Mirror's Edge, and it's just nice to finally have like another continuation.
Yeah, so now we can compare more successful games to Mirror's Edge 2.
Exactly. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? Like this show, at this E3, all these conferences have to be about, or all these press events have to be about games, and like I think that EA did a good job with that.
Yeah, well, and one of the things that, for people like us, when we come to these things, we hear a lot about this sort of stuff beforehand. I think one of the nice things about EA, even though we'd heard rumors about some of these things happening, was that like there are some things that were not totally known. I mean, like we knew Dragon Age Inquisition was happening, but like to actually have it be officially unveiled is exciting.
Yeah.
Mirror's Edge 2, again, like having that come out is awesome. Battlefront is awesome. The new Plants vs. Zombie is awesome.
Yeah.
So like for EA, a company that people typically attribute to, like sort of getting stuck in a rut sometimes, to see these sort of surprises coming out, I thought was exciting.
Yeah,
so,
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Yeah.
So thumbs up.
Yeah, good for them. For a company that's been getting a lot of hate recently, like maybe this will help get a little bit more goodwill.
Yeah. Maybe they won't win Worst Company of the Year next year.
Yeah, let's see. Oh yeah. Ting.
I didn't understand what that was.
Pulled the pin out of the grenade.
Oh.